Okay, good afternoon, buddy. How are you doing? We're kind of or I guess I'm in my remote podcast studio for the next like month, but you're in your usual place, unlike last week.
I was gonna say I'm finally home in my usual place for the next 5 hours only. I have a flight in 5 hours. I haven't packed, haven't cleaned, am currently doing laundry, but I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I have an exact schedule in my mind about how the next like 3 hours are gonna look, and it's plenty of time to do everything. So,
I love that for you, and also I feel like you're not in a place where you necessarily need to do like a 2 hour before airport situation. I've been to your airport.
oh, absolutely not. I also am. My aunt and uncle are landing like an hour and a half before my flight is taking off. And so we're just doing a car swap. Like I'm driving to the airport. I'm going to give them the keys in the airport and then they're going to drive my car home.
I
The
love that.
benefit
That's
of living, I don't know how I ever did life like before I lived somewhere where there were people that could like give me a ride to the airport. Like I know how I did it, but
I
it was
think you
so
just
much
like
less
have to
convenient.
find a village. Like I think I just rotate people that I ask to bring me to the airport, but recently I've kind of been on a shtick of like I I feel this way when with moving too. Is like I don't want to reciprocate the offer. Like when people are moving, like help me. I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to ask anyone to help me move. I'm just going to simply pay the movers because I don't want to reciprocate. I feel that way sometimes with the airport. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I will pick up from the airport if it's like a fun time and like we can get like a drink or coffee or like chat or whatever. But other times I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily want to pick you up at the airport at like 11:30 p.m. and bring you home. So sometimes I just Uber or drive myself if I like, you know, don't have someone perfectly in mind to take me.
I feel like that's fair. I also feel like sometimes with certain people, it honestly is harder to coordinate. Like I think sometimes I'm like, okay, I am getting a free, convenient ride to the airport, but it's at the cost of like 100 text messages and
Mm,
like Navy SEAL levels of coordination where I'm like, I actually probably should have just Ubered. Like this probably was worth the $30. I don't know how much are Ubers these days. I feel like they've gotten
depends
ludicrously
because
expensive.
yeah, I was Ubering down to College World Series last week, and I Ubered from my friend's apartment area to College World Series, and I was worried. I mean, it's like 30 blocks maybe. And I was worried it was going to be crazy expensive. It was $7.50. But then it's
Oh,
like it never makes sense, I feel like
you
sometimes
gotta
with
love
Uber.
Omaha though. I feel like I have taken, and granted, they were like ridiculously long routes that I wasn't really prepared for ahead of time. I have taken two $100 Ubers, one way,
Mm-hmm.
$100 in
Mm-hmm.
the last like calendar year. I think that was
Yes, when
before tip too. They were $100 before tip.
I was in Chicago last, I took $100 Uber, and yeah, then tip, and you're like, okay, well, I guess it was fine,
Insane.
20%.
But speaking of, how was the
Um,
College World Series?
The College World Series was incredible. I love Omaha during those 10 days. It is a magical place. It is when people say, like, what do you do in Omaha? I'm always like, well, 10 days out of the year, we have this really amazing thing happen called the College World Series. And you guys should probably come during those 10 days. But I was only there for a little bit because then I made my journey back east here. So I feel like between the two of us, we've been in quite a few airports over the past 2 weeks
Quite a few airports and also on the road. My
on the road.
travel home from my most recent stop was some driving, which shockingly was not bad. I did it with both my parents, and we just, it was about like, it probably could have been like a 7.5 hour drive that we turned into an 8.5 hour drive, but I feel like honestly it was better. We were taking our sweet time. We switched drivers every hour and a half. We stopped for a while to have lunch. We were unbothered. It was great.
I love that. I unfortunately was flying from Omaha, which was filled with the College World Series. Usually, Omaha has literally three people in the airport. This time it was packed. Flying to Boston, which the World Cup is at. So I was
Oh,
just
we
going
need to
from
talk about the World Cup.
one insane airport to another insane airport, and I don't know if it's maybe I am not following soccer or I never have followed soccer. I thought the World Cup was like the Olympics, like it was 2 weeks. This thing is it's going on for like 6 weeks. The World Cup.
Well, I also am confused because so last night I actually went to a World Cup watch party because my friend is from Colombia. Her whole family's Colombian, so they had a watch party for the Colombia Uzbekistan game, which was
Oh, fun.
insane. Colombia won 3-1. It was a great game, but she was talking about going to some of the games, and I think she was saying like her brother is going July 4th weekend, or I don't know when this is supposed to end. I'm very confused.
No, it's going all the way. Like when you come to visit me, the World Cup will still be going on.
In Boston?
Yeah, like we could go to a game.
Oh Lord.
We're not going
I
to.
just
That's not in the budget, but
yeah, not in the budget.
not in the budget. And I like I would think I would like the atmosphere. I don't think I necessarily need to get a ticket inside the game. I feel the same way with the College World Series. My least favorite part about the College World Series is the actual baseball game. I like everything else surrounding it. And I think I would agree with the World Cup. I probably would like all the festivities surrounding it. I don't necessarily want to watch 90 minutes worth of soccer.
See, in person, though, I feel like it's different. I feel the same way about soccer and baseball, where, I mean, the World Cup soccer games are different because it's like everybody's getting together and it's a whole thing. Like, sitting and watching baseball or soccer on TV is a foreign concept to me. If I'm going to sit through one of those games, I need to go be in the stadium, be amongst the people, be in the atmosphere. Like, as you know, like I will sit and watch hours of football on
Yep.
the TV and be like happy as a clam. But anyways, that being said, I would go. I would not pay the level
Oh,
of prices that are being
insane.
required.
I saw like the nosebleed seats for the final game, which I think is maybe in New York. I don't actually know where the final is. Maybe it's in
It
Los
is
Angeles.
it's in New Jersey, but I think it's
Oh, it's
at
at MetLife. Okay,
yeah, it's out. So I mean,
basically New York.
no
But
hate on
I
New
saw,
Jersey, but basically New York.
yeah, I saw that those tickets, like even for nosebleeds, were going for $15,000.
And like, at what point are is somebody gonna like actually finally deal with Ticketmaster? Like, this is getting ridiculous.
This is getting ridiculous. But speaking of the World Cup, I do think we need to give a shout out to our buddy Tom, who was on the field holding the Argentina flag as a World Cup official volunteer.
Okay, so the craziest part about that whole thing is I knew that he was volunteering. Like, for it to be Argentina, I don't know if he knew that or he was that was random, was insane to me.
I
Also,
know.
no hate at all. Are we revealing where he lives? I'm just
Yeah,
going to
I
say
don't think
this.
he cares.
No hate at all to the city that he's in. Would not have guessed that they would have sent Argentina with arguably the most famous soccer player in the world to that city. Like, it's not in
Okay, well,
LA.
if you're gonna say like people could just like technically look up where Argentina played and know
Exactly.
it's
It was in it was in Kansas City. But the crazy, like, and again, we have been to Kansas City. This is absolutely no hate on Kansas City, but that to me was just such a random place to put
I
Argentina.
know,
Like,
but
insane.
good for
Anyways,
him.
I mean,
Good for him,
crazy.
and he cashed in on that volunteer opportunity. I mean, he was like, "I want to see the World Cup, and this is how I'm going to do it." So love that
Well,
for
are
him.
you, speaking of volunteering, are you volunteering for the Olympics? Because I think
I got the
that's coming up
email.
soon.
Yes, I got the email that was saying the applications are coming out like mid-July to apply to be a volunteer. So I'm going to apply to be a volunteer at the LA Olympics.
I love
That
this
would
for
be my
you.
dream. Yeah. So I
I
will
just
be at.
don't know that my love for the Olympics like overtakes my fear of being anywhere near Los Angeles in the
See,
summer of 2028.
I would say one of my hyperfixations is the Olympics.
I know, and your love for the Olympics overcomes that, and that's
Yeah.
great, but I don't know that mine does.
I would be so excited. The LA Olympics, I don't know if I'd be super, I would love to like go see an event. I don't know if I'd be super disappointed if I don't get to see an event. The Salt Lake City ones that are in a few years, I don't know, 2034 or something like that. I will be going to see ice dancing. Like that will be happening. I will be there. But LA, I just want to go for more of the atmosphere. So I'm hoping I can be a volunteer.
Yeah. see the sights, see the people. I think that's
Can you
makes
imagine the people
sense.
watching?
Insane. Well, I'm dying because with the World Cup, they're having all of these like people from all over the world that are experiencing American food for the first time. Boston, by the way, we have to talk about Boston is out of beer. The
Out of
Scottish
beer, the
people
Scots.
have
Yeah.
drank all of the beer in the city of Boston.
I
Um,
was actually thinking I needed
Impressive.
to text our group chat. I wonder why Maggie P and Jamie didn't come. They should have come to Boston to see the Scots.
They should have.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they don't
Our
follow.
friend Meg is marrying someone who is Scottish, and so but maybe he's not into soccer. I guess we'll have to ask Meg if he's into soccer.
But I feel like this is the crazy thing because as someone, I'm not opposed to soccer, and I actually can see myself after this becoming more of a soccer fan. I just don't really have a team that I
Mm,
like root for in a regular, like, everybody has their Premier League team, whatever. I don't have one. But it is crazy to me how it's like really the rest of the world is into soccer. Like, I think America is one of the only countries where it is possible to not be that into soccer. Like, if you are
I
from
know.
a European country or a Central or South American country, you're into soccer.
My dad did say that the U.S. team this year is really good, or is good. Usually they get out in like the first round, but he said that they have a decent chance not to win, but to like go a little bit further. Where the U.S. women's, I feel like always like win World Cups and stuff. Where the men, I don't know if are as good.
No, the men, the best teams out there, I think Germany is supposed to be like one of the best, if not the best. Argentina, obviously. Um,
France,
France, yes. So
mm,
Spain, I think, is good.
yeah, a lot of sports talk today. How do you feel about that?
So excited. Which is funny because normally this time of the year, now that the NBA finals and the Stanley Cup are over, which like the Stanley Cup, I feel like no one was talking about it.
No,
This is usually just kind of like the bleh of sports. The only sport happening is baseball, and it's like the middle of the season. It's inconsequential. So actually, I really love that like World Cup or Olympic times because then I feel like you get some sports in a time where you usually don't get one. Watch out for this podcast in the fall. I will be insufferable. I just want everyone to like
you
be prepared for that.
insufferable.
I am insufferable during football season, and everyone knows this.
I don't even know if we talked about the Knicks winning the finals. If that was, I think that was last Saturday, so we didn't even talk about it
No, we
last time.
didn't.
But Knicks in
Um,
five.
Nixon 5, which honestly was good. I think they
I
needed to
don't
just
think New
they
York
needed to
could have
win.
handled them winning in New York. I don't
No,
think that
the
could be.
city would have
I
imploded.
Yeah, so I think that's good. Happy for them. Happy for all the influencer girlies. Happy for Timothy Chalamet above all.
Happy for
Yeah,
Anushka
go.
Birthday.
Yes. Kylie Jenner was not there, but that's okay. Um, but yeah, happy for them all. Go Knicks.
Go Knicks.
All
Well,
right. How do we feel?
I think we've gotten our, casual convo out of the way.
Yeah.
I feel like I always start. I feel like I want to kick it to you uh,
Oh, okay.
to do your little wellness check. So how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling good. Before we start, I do need to share that I was in the car with my mom and her dear friend Betty Ann, who is a listener, one of our probably two listeners, called and said, I need a wellness check. So I think our global impact is huge. I
Yeah,
love that
it's becoming
everyone
a part of the cultural lingo.
it's becoming part of the cultural lingo. And I do want to emphasize that or just kind of flesh out that my mom was like, did you know that like wellness check is something that like the police can call like you can I think that's a welfare check now that I'm thinking about that.
Yes, it is a
Um
welfare check. You're right.
but she was saying like that's like something like the police can like do like a wellness check on someone. And I was just like, well, maybe that's like a part of our shtick is like instead of calling the police on each other, we're just calling each other. So I don't know, but now that I think about it, I think it is welfare. Um
I think it's welfare. I also think wellness check is just, yeah, welfare check sounds very serious. Wellness check
yeah.
is a casual like, hey, how are we doing? How are the
Yeah.
spirits today? Are spirits high, low?
Yes. So my first wellness check, I feel like I always do the same ones, but I need to just like just have a little bit more experiences. I think it's hard because I'm in my summer lull, like in a good way of like where I
Yeah,
don't really have a
and that's
whole lot
okay.
going on. which is fine. Um, so my first one is going to be professional because last time I talked about professional because I was talking about the class that I was teaching last Friday, and I just wanted to give all of our listeners an update on my
Yes, we
class.
need an update.
It was so good. I had the time of my life. My students did such a great job. It was so engaging. I got such great feedback. So I'm super happy with how it went.
I love that. What did the students, like the college students that were in it, do you think they learned a lot?
Yes, I think they did. They all had like really good like takeaways from it, which I was really happy with, and I think it made them, think about special ed in a different way and how to implement it in their classroom. They all have really good questions. So I think that brings us to kind of like one of my ongoing life crises that I think it's just about time that we bring up is when do I go back to school? Like, do I go get my doctorate? Do I become a professor? Do I write a book? What are we doing here?
Well, I feel like those are a couple things. Because, first of all, for the listeners to get a little behind the scenes, Maddie did text me yesterday, the day before,
Yeah.
just yesterday. It was yesterday. I need to get my doctorate, which I support this next
And
journey.
that was not the first time that I've texted you that. I think I've
No,
texted you that several
no,
times.
this is a regular conversation that we have. Now, I
Yeah.
will say, I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but you writing a book, I think, is separate. That's a separate thing. That's kind of
I
already.
think yes. Well, for the listeners, I am writing a book, a more of like a self-help memoir type style book. But now I'm wondering, like, do I write like an academic book? Like, do I need to write my experiences in special ed, my positive experiences of inclusion, things like that? Do I need to write like an academic centered book? Like, my memoir will be coming out. Don't worry. Um, but I feel like I don't know. I've always been hesitant about. I know I want to get my doctorate eventually. I think I was always like, well, I don't know what I want to get it in. Like, I need to not just like get a doctorate. It's a lot of money to just do something. I want it to be pretty specific. But now I think I'm kind of at the opposite of like, I think I just need a doctorate, and then I can just kind of like flesh that out as I go.
Well, but I think now, obviously, doctorates are very hyper specific on what you're studying, but it would be in the realm of inclusive education, would it not? Like that
Yeah,
would be.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you broadly speaking have a direction.
I have a direction. I think I am really passionate about Catholic education. I would like to stay in a Catholic university, which does limit my options. So I think I have to figure out like how much of a priority that is when looking at doctoral programs. Um,
I
so
would like to challenge though and say it it limits your options, but not. I think there are enough of them out
it
there, and
doesn't
I think
squash them, no, for sure.
no. Um,
Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Is I really like. I don't know if I necessarily want to be like a professor. I love being like a guest speaker. I love that. Maybe I need to do more of that. I love speaking at conferences. So I kind of just want to like flesh out what I want to do with my doctorate.
I also think that you can do different things, like you were saying. I mean, I don't know if you want to do any adjunct professoring in general, but um, I think this in general is just a big thing you realize in your 20s where it's like you can have different careers and different lines of work.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can
Mm-hmm.
try something for 3 years, decide it's not for me, and then do something else. I feel like more people are doing that these days.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, I think that's good for us. Because even if I think about my parents, like they've all had like several different careers. And also
Which
I
is
need to
funny
remind myself.
because mine like really have not. Like
I know that actually is crazy.
it's kind of the vibe
And
though.
yeah,
That yeah, it's like you pick one place you like working and you just stick with it.
stick with it forever. But also like we're young, we have a lot of time, but it's just kind of made me thinking a lot more about my next steps, and I need to start thinking about that. So
Would you go like would your next education step for sure be a doctorate or would you get another master's or
no, because I think I already have two masters. Like I'm not going to get a third.
gosh, you have two masters. I forget this.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna go get another one because a
No.
lot of doctorate programs like will let you apply master's level courses to it, but only like a certain amount of credits. Like you could apply, 20, 30 credits or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna just keep getting these master level classes without getting a doctorate. So I think I would like to do one part time. I don't think I would love to go back to school full time. I don't think that's really my vibe. Um, but I also don't know if I'd want to do it online. I think online would be super hard. I already
Super
got two
hard.
masters online, so yeah.
And even like on like our masters was online, but I also feel like getting to go back over the summer
Mm,
and have that. I think you need some in person,
yeah.
what's the right word? Exposure, some in
Experience. Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start seriously looking at that.
Wow. You're
I
just
know.
it's happening. I'm excited
It's
for you.
happening. It's happening. Um, yeah, so it's my first wellness check. What about you? How are you doing this week?
Well, my first wellness check is a physical wellness check, which
Oh,
is fitting
okay.
for break because my schedule is so screwed up. I have been traveling a bunch, as we mentioned. I was gone for a week right after school, and I'm leaving later today for a long weekend. And on the one hand, I feel like traveling, my grand plans of the summer that I was gonna, get in my workout routine and get in my healthy cooking routine have not happened, which is a shock to
Yeah.
no one.
Mm,
And I feel like the conventional wisdom on this would either be like, oh, you need to get back into a routine, or like, oh, it's fine to, kind of be unhealthy for a short period of time and then you'll get back to it longer. But I have a different take on this in that I feel like number one, I am sleeping more. Like my sleep schedule is screwed up, but quantity wise, I'm sleeping way more hours than I sleep during the school year when I have a schedule. And I also am not living with the day to day stress of working. Like I really am stress free. Even the administrative, like annoying things going on in my life, I'm kind of like, whatever, because I have so much
yeah.
time to do them. And I was just thinking about it. And I was like, you know what? Sleep and stress reduction are like two of the key things to your health. And it actually is healthy for me to be sleeping more and to not be stressed. So basically, my take is that I don't think being out of a routine is actually necessarily that unhealthy because I think potentially it means that you're doing healthy things in different areas. Like I think even spending time with my loved ones as I have been doing, that's healthy. So I
Rest
don't know.
is productive. Remember, that was one of my takeaways a few weeks ago. Rest is productive.
Rest is productive, and honestly, kind of wanted to steal that for my takeaway. I will think of a better one, but
You can steal that. That's okay.
we may
Um,
come back.
no, I have like always like I've been on like a journey with my sleep. I feel like over the course of my life, like sometimes I had like a really hard time going to sleep, sometimes I don't. I think it just I don't know, depends. Um, but since being back living with my parents for the past week, I've just kind of been on their routine because they do go to bed early. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get on their routine. It'll be kind of nice.
Yeah,
And so I started like taking a melatonin like to kind of fix my sleep schedule so I would go to sleep like earlier. Like my parents would go to bed at like 9 o'clock. And let me tell you, I forgot how much that shit knocks you out.
melatonin.
It's been yeah, like the gummy melatonin, 5 milligrams, I'm out.
The only time I've tried to take it is on an airplane, and I feel like the one time I was on I just don't sleep well on airplanes, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
Um, but I have a red eye coming up this summer that I can test it out on again.
I feel like the
Um,
red eye though, you gotta go like Benadryl or like Z-Quil or something. You
yeah,
really gotta
like
knock
to
yourself
just
out.
make you unconscious. No, I am the biggest proponent, I always have been, of getting enough sleep. Like my
Mm,
students will brag sometimes like, "Oh, I'm just not sleeping or whatever. I got 4 hours of sleep last night." And I literally get mad at them. I'm like, "Why? I am not the one to tell this to. This is not cute. This is not funny. You are in the prime growing stage of your life. You need to sleep. And I recognize that I am very blessed in the fact that it is not hard for me to fall asleep or stay asleep. And for other people, that's not the
Mm.
case. I just think that I have seen the absolute detriment that not sleeping well has on a person. And actually, when I was student teaching, my mentor teacher was really good friends with this couple who was they were sleep researchers for Washington
Oh,
State University, and he came in and did a talk with the seniors about the importance of sleep and how like not sleeping well is linked to literally every long-term negative health effect that you can think of. So that's your PSA to get some sleep. And if there's something in your life that is, and I say this truly, authentically, if you're listening to this podcast, I know you personally, and there's some problem in your life that is the reason that you are not sleeping, I want you to call me right now. I want you to dial my phone number and tell me what the problem is, and I will do my absolute best to solve the problem because I care about you and you need to sleep.
that was beautiful.
Thank you. That's my soapbox.
Thank you for sharing that. That was really important.
You're welcome. I try.
Yeah,
Even if I'm a hot mess in other areas of my life, I always, there's a few hills you got to die on, and that's one of the hills that I die on.
I love
So,
that. I love that.
all right, bud. Well, what's your second wellness check for the week?
My second wellness check is a social wellness check
Yes.
because a few things. Because I'm on summer and obviously my routine is disrupted. Um, and I did start to feel this way. I feel like I texted you like over Christmas break or when I was coming back to Boston over Christmas break, where this Christmas when I was leaving was the first time like ever in 5 years that I was like a little bit sad to leave Omaha, where usually it was
Yes.
like first
Which
day of
is
Christmas break.
shocking because
Yeah,
you
first day of
love
Christmas.
nothing more than to go home.
I love nothing more to go home. I love my bed. I love my parents' house. I love everything about it. And so it was like such a weird feeling of, usually like Christmas break, we have like a half day and then, we're done. It's usually like I'm booking a flight at like 1 p.m. Like I'm out of there and I'm getting back at midnight the night before we go back to school. Like I don't need to spend any time there. And this year I remember being like, okay, wait, this is like a little bit weird. This is like a place that I'm leaving that I do have connections that I do feel attached to. And, it's a little bit sad. I don't even know if sad is the correct word, like emotional maybe. And so then when I was leaving for the summer, because I'm going to be gone for like a month, 6-ish weeks from Omaha. And the amount, like, and this is not to brag, I'm going to be pretty humble about this. The amount of like, texts I got and people like from Omaha that were like, oh no, like, I'm so sad. Like, I want to see you before you go. Like, when are you going to come back? When are you like that? It was a little bit overwhelming in the sense that like, this is something I had like wished for so long while I had like been trying to make my life out there. And, it felt like it was kind of all happening as I was leaving. And I think one of my thoughts when I had been, like struggling to make friends at the early ages of being there and things like that, I was like, well, is it because, every break I leave, Christmas break I leave, spring break I leave, summer break I leave, I have people to visit in like lots of different places. Like my life isn't rooted here. It's a place I live and it's a place I work, but I don't have a lot of roots here necessarily. And so I remember one thing that one of my friends said, and my mom said it too. She was like, well, it won't necessarily matter if they're strong friends and they're good friends. Like if you leave, like when you come back, they'll still be your friends and they'll still want to see you and they'll be excited for you and they'll understand. And I think that's the case with a lot of my really good friends don't live within a plane distance away from me. I need to take a plane to see them. So I think I was always worried about that, but then it just kind of was like this year, I feel like every time I left, I, was almost overwhelmed with like this outpouring of support that like, I'm so glad you get to see your family, we'll miss you, text when you come back. And I think the longer I am away from my family and away from the place I grew up, I think the less people I see when I come home
Mhm.
and the more people like I have out there, which is kind of weird and it's a little bit of a phenomenon and something to like grapple with, where I know I will always visit my family here and they're obviously the most important, and I have a few friends, but I feel like, when I first came back, it was like, oh, I need to see this person, this person, this person. And now it's like, you know what? Like I'll see who I see. And I also have people back there. So I don't know. I think it's just kind of been like a bit of like a social like adjustment. That was kind of a long rant.
No, I think also like coming home, I'm just thinking about like coming home to see friends from childhood, high school, whatever. I think the older you get, the more it's not guaranteed that even for holidays, because I feel like in college, you're all more or less on the same schedule. So it's like you're going to
Mm-hmm.
go home for holidays, you're going to see your friends over Thanksgiving or Christmas because everyone's home. Now,
Mm-hmm.
like everyone's all over the place, everyone's, traveling, their families have moved, they
Mm-hmm.
have different lives. The trip that I'm actually leaving for today is going to see two friends who, like, the three of us have been friends since sixth grade. We grew up together. We haven't lived in the same place since we were 18. And individually, I have seen these two friends separately. Like, I probably see them once, twice, three times a year, depending. But
Mm-hmm.
the three of us have not been together since the summer of 2022. It's been like 4 years. So it's just
That's
crazy
wild.
thinking like I don't know. I think that's the hard part is it's like we you get accustomed to like being in college, or for you like maybe your first or second year in Omaha, where it's like you go home and you see all your people and then you
Mm-hmm.
come back to where you live, and then it's hard when it's like, okay, well now my people are where I live, but I still want to
Mm-hmm.
go back home and see like, you know, everyone there. So it is challenging.
No, it's challenging, and it is like it's a feeling that is like a sad feeling, but also a feeling like I'm so grateful for. Like I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful that I have people in all these places that care about me and that, think I'm important, that I have to look forward to seeing, and, want to see me, and all of that. And that's like such like a beautiful feeling. And I'm like so grateful to have that feeling. But at the same time, it's like a hard feeling to have. Um, but I think that shows like a lot of growth for myself, because I mean there was many times that I did not want to stick it out in Omaha, and I frankly really only stuck it out for my job because I do love my job. And I think when you're consistent with something, and you're also yourself and you're honest, like good things happen. And yeah, I don't know, just feeling grateful.
And it takes time to make good friends. And when you move to
Hmm.
a place as an adult, like I think we
Hmm.
were all primed to the college reality where it's like you show up, you make your friends because everyone's just in a fishbowl and that's that. But I don't know. I'm happy for you that you're getting to see the fruits of your labor of living in Omaha for 5 years.
Yeah, what a time it's been. What a 5 years it's been.
You got to stay there so I can come back and visit because I miss it a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, just I feel like this is a pretty real life situation right now. Forgot to pay my credit card bill, so I'm gonna do that real quick.
While you're doing that, I'm going to go on a little tangent and say that I have done this many a time because I recently switched credit cards and my credit card bill used to be due on like the first or second of the month. And then when I switched it, it started being due on like the 26th, 27th of the month. And so there have been multiple months where I just like straight up have forgotten to pay my credit card. And I always am stressed because I have excellent credit. Shout out to my parents who taught me to be very responsible with
Yes.
my money. I like always have the money to pay the credit card on time. I just forget, which I feel like is I don't know. I need to set reminders on my phone for things
Yeah,
or
I
else
also
I
need to
won't do
set
them.
reminders. I think also because my the last apartment I lived in, my rent was due like the same day as my credit card, which was like great. I would do all my accounting at the same time, but since moving, my rent is due like at a different time, so then I just don't associate paying my credit card bill. But, you know, no late fee because it was within 24 hours. So God bless.
Good. Yeah, I hate that. I'm like, can everyone just make all my bills are due all
Yeah,
various
all
times
different. Yeah.
of the month. Yeah, utilities are all over the place.
It's all over the place. I know. So,
It's hard to
all
keep
right. Well,
track.
what's your second wellness check?
My second wellness check is a little bit of a hybrid intellectual spiritual wellness check because I feel like
Whoa.
they're falling
Okay.
under the same category. So, um, something about me that is probably not unique to me, but I am really bad at motivating myself to do things that I don't want to do, like intrinsically. And if there is something that I don't want to do, that I have to do, there are only three ways that I'm going to motivate myself to do them. The first is external deadlines, obviously. That's just like a human thing. The second is I need to have other people around me doing it. I'm an extrovert. So, like, if I'm with other people, they're going to motivate me. Or third, I need to distract myself by playing the TV or music or podcast in the background while I'm doing the thing. Okay. Like cleaning. If I'm going to force myself to clean, I either need to be with other people, I need to, have a podcast on, whatever. Maddie has frequently been FaceTiming me while I'm cleaning my bathroom. It's a joke that
All the
every
time.
time
All
she
the
calls
time.
me, I am cleaning my bathroom.
Yep.
However, where the intellectual, spiritual part of this comes in is that I feel like I'm in such a rut in these two areas of my life because I can't, they require silence for the most part and they require being alone for the most part. And so my two motivators are out the window. And I feel like if I don't have intrinsic motivation to do them, to pray or to read, then I'm not doing it. I have read 2 books this year. It's June.
That's
One of the
crazy,
books
actually.
No, one of the books that I read was also read entirely during work hours because it's a book that I'm teaching next year. So I was like reading it and planning curriculum at the same time. So really on my own time, I have read one singular book, which is like
Well,
unfathomable.
that will change when you come visit me because I think last time you visited me, you sat in my parents' pool and read like 3 books straight.
So here's the thing, tying in with the peer motivation. Who will we be at your parents' house with is our good friend Meg, who is one of the most voracious readers I have ever met in my whole life.
Voracious reader. And also, like, Meg, love her. She'll be on the podcast in July. Meg also is very structured in her reading in the sense that like she is not going to like give it up for something. Like if Meg is reading, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to just like drop my book so I can go get a drink, get a coffee, whatever. She'll be like, no, I'm going to finish to where I want to finish and then I will go socialize. Like reading is such a priority for her, which I love that.
Right. And I think I need that inspiration because I don't have it right now. And I feel like,
Well, also, I
go on.
think our dear friend Meg is getting married this summer. We're super happy for Meg. And I gave her the idea. I need to like sell this idea, not that it's like a sellable idea, but she needs to, I think, tell us soon. She's picking a book for all of us to read so that we can have a book club at her bachelorette.
Amazing.
So we'll be reading that book, which I think is like such a cute idea as like a bachelorette activity. So I think she's gonna pick something like cute and fun and yeah.
Maybe wedding related.
What? Yeah, that would be cute.
No, and that was one of the things that motivated me to read, I think in terms of school year. So this was like 24, 25. My long distance friends and I, there's this app that you can do an asynchronous book club on, and we read like 4 or 5 books, I think, that way. We're trying to get it restarted, but I think that like I don't know. I think I just need to do some self-reflection on like the intrinsic versus extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation to read, to pray, because it was the same thing. Like
Mhm.
last school year, I was going to adoration once a week because I had friends that were going and then I would like see them after. And now those friends have moved, my schedule has shifted. So I'm not going, and that was like a very nice cornerstone of my week. It was like every Wednesday I was doing that. And so I don't know. I think to get really crazy, if we're like tying in a professional element here, I think about extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation a lot for my job, and
Mhm.
I think you want a good balance of both. But I think this is a wellness check on myself that it's like the intrinsic motivators are not working, so I need to maybe like schedule some things. I'm the person that if it's on a schedule, I'll do it. Like that's why I prefer workout classes over just going to the gym, because if I say to myself, like, I need to be at the gym at 5:30 for this class that's going to last 45 minutes and I can schedule that into my day, like, I'm way more likely to do that. So I don't know, maybe that, not that I want to be over scheduled, especially during the summer, but maybe I need to think about that.
I have some thoughts. The first one is I think you need to give yourself grace with that, with both aspects, because like we did just finish like literally running a marathon with our school year, and so there's so much that goes on. We're so intellectually stimulated,
Yeah, this
in so
year
many different.
also put me through the ringer, like even
Yeah,
compared to last year's. And I recognize that, and that's why I took off the screen time limits on my phone
I
because
love
I
that.
was just like, I can't. I need a second. So thank you. I appreciate that because that is true.
And then my second thing is if I'm putting my teacher cap on and I'm putting my special ed cap on, if like you're not doing the task due to motivation, like you need to raise your reward or raise like your bar. So like eventually your rewards are going to run out. That means you need a bigger reward. So whether it's like when you need to tell yourself you're executive functioning, you know, I like to think that we all have good executive functioning. We really don't. We've just trained ourselves to have good executive functioning. When I think about my kids, every time they, do something good and I give them a Skittle, well, eventually it's going to need to be two Skittles because they're going to be like, well, I'm kind of sick of this. Or eventually it's going to need to be a cookie.
It's a good point.
And we kind of think about that with ourselves. So what me and my friends did, we did this. I think it was like a New Year's resolution thing. We had like a punch card and we said like we made all ourselves like little goals. Like, oh, when we read, 10 books, we can go to brunch. When we go to 10 yoga classes, we can like buy a new workout set or something like that. You need to keep yourself like literally do a sticker chart. But I think you need to give yourself like some type of reward of, oh, I'm going to go to this coffee shop. I'm going to buy myself a fun coffee and my only, stipulation is I can't be on my phone. I need to be reading a book or I need to be doing something spiritual or whatever. I think you need to like give yourself better parameters because whatever you're doing now like isn't working and that's okay. But you have to switch it up. And I am a big proponent of rewards. I think like I always in my mind I'm thinking like, oh well when I finish this work, when I finish my laundry or whatever, I can watch TV. When I finish cleaning the kitchen, I can do X, Y, and Z. And so sometimes you have to make your rewards a little bit bigger or your tasks a little bit smaller. So not necessarily like reading a whole book, but like after I read 4 chapters of this book, I can do X, Y, and Z. So I think you need to integrate that a little bit.
I That's a really good perspective because I think it makes sense. Like, I kind of have stacked the
Mm,
like the watching TV, let's say, reward. Like, I've stacked that onto the cleaning or doing other things, and I think when this is a case where I can't stack the reward, I also think that, like, you saying that, for me, getting to go to a place, it's not necessarily the reward, but we're making this an environmental wellness check as well. Like,
yeah.
getting to go somewhere, like, if I'm going to read, I would like to be sitting outside, maybe in my kiddie pool, getting some sun,
Oh, yeah.
or driving to a lake and like reading. Um, Same thing where it's like I really struggle to pray in my house, like in my room, but appreciate and enjoy like going to the chapel even though it's far. So I feel like I need to take a look at, which again, summer isn't necessarily the time for this, but I need to take a look at my schedule of the week and maybe like cut out some things I'm doing that I don't want to do in order to do that. Like, for instance, and I have done this with other things where it's like maybe the day that I'm like spending the time, driving to go somewhere to do these things, I'm giving myself permission to not cook. Like, I'm giving myself permission to like
Mm.
grab dinner or whatever. So I like that. Thank you. I think that's some good insight. I
And
appreciate you putting on the cap for me even over summer.
I like putting on my Sven cap when when talking to my friends.
Yeah, we
Um,
all
we
need
all
some of
need a
that.
little bit. We all need a little bit. I also think like when I have been in ruts with reading and I still enjoy it a lot because I do a lot of driving, but like put on an audiobook. Like
Yes.
and that can help you get into it when you're
Okay, but
walking or whatever.
let me explain my beef with audiobooks. And it's not with the audiobook themselves. Why are they so inaccessible? Getting them or getting a subscribe, maybe it's the way I'm doing it
Wait, do you have
wrong.
Spotify?
Yes.
Yeah, Spotify, you get like 15 hours of audiobooks free a month.
I need to look into that then because all the things I were looking into were subscription based. They were so expensive. And the library, absolute shout out to the library. I think this is also the
Oh
other
shit.
thing.
Yeah, shout
The
out to the library.
library, obviously, you can get your free audiobooks there, whatever. Again, not the fault of my library because libraries can do no wrong. But my library is so underfunded and stretched thin that getting anything, even getting a book, like I put a book on hold a few weeks ago and I think I'm still on like, it's going to be ready in like 8 weeks. Getting a book or an audiobook, I need to have like lightning brain. I need to know what I am wanting to read
Mm.
in like 2 months. Currently, which don't tell anyone that I found out this hack that someone else taught me. If you get a loan on a library book, an ebook, and you put it on a Kindle and then you put the Kindle in airplane mode, as long as you don't take it off airplane mode, the book will stay on there. So I put 4 books. This was in like March. I put 4 books on the Kindle and put it on airplane mode, and they're just there and I haven't read them. Anyways, that's
Yeah,
where we're at.
I think with like because I have like the Libby app that's connected to my library, like I will always put myself like on hold for books. Like if I see it on TikTok or whatever, I'll just like keep putting it on hold. And just like if I get them, like I'll get them or I'll just say like no or whatever. But yeah, look into Spotify. Not every book is on there, but a lot of popular ones. And I don't know if it's like 15 or 20 hours or something like that. You get a set number of hours like free that or like included per month of audiobook. So I've been listening to one recently, a pretty popular one yesteryear, which I was gonna say that you should read too, so that we can discuss when we see each other because Meg read it. But it's not about it, but it's based off of Ballerina Farm.
I have heard about this book. Um, it's fictional, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
But she very obviously is Ballerina Farm. I think I need to read it because I think I'm gonna have a lot of thoughts. I actually would.
yeah. Do
Um,
it, and it that one is for sure on Spotify audiobook, so that could be a good one to try.
that could be a good beach thing. I might look really quick
Yeah.
and just see what the hold situation is.
Well, I was on hold for before it got on Libby or before it got on Spotify because it did recently come out. But I was on hold for it at my library, the actual physical book and the audiobook, and I was like number like 650 or something like that. It was
Yeah, this is
ridiculous.
saying 25 weeks. I'm also not opposed to buying books. Like I buy books. That's fine.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So no, I think that would be good to discuss. Maybe that would be our book
Yeah.
club book. I don't know.
Yeah. Hold each other a little bit accountable with some books.
Yeah,
All right.
so
I feel well.
I feel well. I
Yeah.
feel it's the summer, so you know what? I'm just at a I think more of a state of wellness,
You're in
but
like a daze of like what is my life right now? Yeah.
yeah, also quick thing that maybe we should have addressed in the, pre-banter. Like I know that I'm not working right now, but so I'm out and about in the world at 10 a.m. Does no one work? Everyone is out and
No.
about in the world at 10
Yeah,
a.m.
I know.
It's not just the retired people, it's not just the stay-at-home parents. Like the gym was full at 10 a.m. on a Thursday morning. What, do you not work?
Well, I think this phenomenon with like remote workers, like you can really do whatever you want. I mean, shout out to my dad. He has a remote working job and I think he works a decent amount. But like, I mean, this guy's going to the dermatologist at like 1 p.m. Like I think they can just kind of make their schedule around their meetings until they're like, well, I'm just gonna block off 10 to 11 to go to the gym and then, I'm not gonna have a meeting that at that time or I'll answer the phone call from the parking lot. I think this remote working epidemic has really changed the game.
But I also think like remote workers of the world chime in here because my dad also, since COVID, has been a remote worker, and it is a similar situation where it's like, yeah, he is one of those people that's out and about in the world at random times of the
Yep.
day because he just plans it around his meetings. But I also think that it's like our dads, because they've been working for decades, like they
Mhm.
have positions where they work that are they're not like the grunt workers, if that makes
No.
sense. Like if you I'm just thinking of like the younger people that I know who are remote workers, like they're not doing this. I don't know. Like my friends that work hybrid or when they're home, like they kind of have to be home online all day. So I don't know.
Maybe they're all podcasters like us.
They're all podcasters. They're all well, that's funny because when I'm out, then I also am like, I guess if you work a retail job or if you're like I have friends who are nurses, you do have
Yeah.
non-weekend days off. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess like healthcare kind of has like flexibility and stuff like
Just
that.
call me old fashioned that I'm like, what are we all doing in the middle of a
Yep.
Wednesday? So
All right. Are you ready for your hyperfixation?
my hyperfixation this week is so good.
Okay. Are you going first or am I going first?
Um, do you want? I'll go first. I'll go first.
Okay. I'm going to get my timer ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And go.
My hyperfixation this week is crossword puzzles. The New York Times last
Stop.
week, they made all of the crosswords free on their app. So I was doing them on the app. But then I was staying with my aunt and uncle. My uncle is the only person in the world who still gets a physical newspaper every day. It had 3 crosswords in it. I was doing all 3 of them every day that I was staying with them. It was amazing. The New York Times is still hard for me to do on my own. So I consulted my dad every day on that one, but I literally might have to subscribe to a physical newspaper because
You're done.
I love them so much.
That was beautiful. I used to be a really big fan of Sudoku. But I feel like I need to get back into those little games. They stimulate your mind pretty
No,
well.
and the crossword puzzles are as a like word girl, because I like Sudoku too, but as a word girl, I'm like I
Mm,
don't know why I just describe myself as a word girl. I hate that. I
because you're an English teacher.
expunge that from the record. But that's so yeah, we're moving on. Anyways, are you
Okay.
ready?
Yep.
Okay, 30 seconds starts now.
Okay, my 30-second hyperfixation right now is this Amazon Prime show called Every Year After, based off the book Girls Every Summer After. So I
Mm.
started listening to this book on my recent travels, and it was really good. And then I saw that it was an Amazon Prime show, so my mom and I have started watching it. It's like super like easy summer, like Summer I Turn Pretty-esque, and super like just fun and light. And it's really good. So if anyone needs a quick, easy show, I would recommend it.
30 seconds on the dot. Look at
I'm so
you.
good. Also, this is not related, but also related. The Summer I Turned Pretty literally is filming where I am right now, which is insane. And if anyone knows me, I'm obsessed with that show.
Well, I think asking you if you're going to watch the movie is a stupid question.
Oh, I will be having a party. I will maybe go to the premiere. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
she'll be sad for the movie.
But like one of my favorite restaurants, Anejo, shout out Anejo. They literally were filming outside of it. So like Anejo will be in the movie, which is insane.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for our journeys later in the
Yep.
summer.
All right, what are
Um,
you taking with you this week? Do you have something?
yeah, what am I reminding myself this week? Actually, this feels weird, but this is a statement that my family says all the time, and it's everything in moderation. And I feel like
My
everything
yep, yep.
everything I
We're the
talked
same.
about this week, I feel like falls into that category where it's like too much of anything is not a good thing. And I think that I'm getting to the point in my summer, which is good, where it's like I had the crazy hectic scheduled on my grind set, everything going on with the school year. And then I did, a complete 180 where it's like I was traveling, I was on vacation, I had no schedule, was doing whatever I wanted, probably spent 3 hours a day on my phone, whatever. And I think now I'm ready to be like, I am just going to do a little bit of everything and not be stressed and take my time. I feel like yesterday was a good example of this. I got up, I went to a 10 a.m. workout class that, as I told Maddie, I was fighting for my life to make it on time because my sleep
Love
schedule is
that.
so screwed up. I got lunch. I went to my classroom for 2 hours and cleaned it because it was such a disaster. I came home. I probably watched 2 hours of TV. And then I went and hung out with a friend. And that was like a good little morsel of a day. It was
Yeah.
productive, but it was slow. So if we're bringing back rest is productive, Like that's also what I'm reminding myself of this week, along with just just all the things. I don't know. I feel like that's I'm very in my like hippie woo woo bag this week, but that's what I'm taking away.
I love that. What I'm reminding myself of this week slash taking with me this week, I don't really know how to put this into like words. I guess just um that like be like when you're honest, people will understand. This is like a little bit of a shout out to you, and like you are my queenie of the week because I was really stressed with my
I'm so
travel plans.
honored.
My travel plans were really disbanded just due to like errors on my part, which I take full accountability with. And I was so stressed that Teresa was not going to understand my issues, and I was like, I could make this work a million different ways, but I just was like honest on the issue, and obviously she was like extremely understanding, which I'm very grateful for. Um, and I was like, well, like she understands that this. I mean, I can't say it was out of my control because like it is my fault. But that she was
Mm,
very understanding on my yeah, a little bit was out of my control.
yeah,
Um, but just like that, if you have good friends, like they will always understand. So that's my reminder.
thank you. I think that is a good litmus test. I think that if you like tell your yeah, the real ones are going to understand. They're going to
Yeah,
be okay with it. I am calling myself a real one, but I know that you would do the same. So,
1000%, 1000%.
well,
Okay. Anything else?
I think we crushed it. I think this was a
I think we
great
crushed
wellness
it too.
check. I
This is a good
feel
wellness check.
very like yeah, I was very out of my element the last episode. I was in a different place. It was at the wee hours of the morning. I feel a lot
But
more
we're back on our
stable for
grind.
this one. We're back. And
We're back.
next week we'll be back. Like this is a quick
Oh yeah.
trip.
Yeah. Next week will be good.
It will be good.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Hydrate, text your friends back, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.